Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the Away Day show. Once again, the weekend roundup is here. Not much of really to talk about. We'll talk about it. It's a bit of a stinker weekend. But yourself, how'd you find a bit of the action or the lack of action over the weekend?
Yeah, well, I mean, what really happened? There was a couple of big games: Newcastle City, United, Spurs. But then other than that, it was a bit of a ball fest. Like, we'll obviously touch on the games, but yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a weird period. You know, had a stinker in FPL again. I mean, I'm having an absolute stinker. Should
you talk about FPL now? Because like,
yeah, well, there's not. Yeah,
it was a tough time. AFCON and Asian Cup has screwed over a lot of managers. Did you didn't wild card for this?
Nah, I wild carded ages ago because my team was in the stinker, and to be honest, I never recovered. Like, I was telling him off air. You know, my goalkeeper situation has just been mental. So I brought in Martinez a couple of weeks ago, and I have Ariel on the bench. Yeah. And in those weeks, Ariel has gone like, pen save, clean sheet, racking up points against tough opposition.
Yeah.
And Martinez is blanked against Sheffield at home and Burnley at home. And I play Areola this week, and of course Martinez away at Everton goes and gets clean sheet and the 3 bonus, and it's just it just summarises my whole season. Like, what can you do? The game is just so luck based.
Yeah,
is what it is.
Game's gone.
Game is legit gone.
I
mean, I'm gonna keep persevering to the end of the year. Maybe break the 1 mil mark, which is absolutely mental.
I think I'm still well way away from that.
I think I'm ranked 3 mil. I'm actually having not a terrible week overall. Like, Richarlison scored.
Yeah.
Sterling got an assist, but it's just unbelievable with the bloody goalkeeper situation. It just summarised my whole season. So, I mean, that's sort of, where I'm at.
I finally cracked the 2 4 2 3s now, but yeah, still stinking it up. The fact that our league, I'm 4th in the league, says a lot.
I think I'm like 7th.
Yeah, everyone's given up by now. But
no one plays
1,100 is like bang average. I'm quite disappointed in myself, but I think we've said FPL is a bit of a stinker for both of us.
I mean,
I've tried my best.
I gave up a long time ago.
Yeah, I tried my best, but we stick with it. Let's kick it off with what we learned from the weekend. It's pretty boring, my one, but I think City's title race starts now.
Mine's the same thing.
Yeah, we've joked around for 20 games. We're finally sort of getting into the crux of it. That was just, in terms of just watching it, it was a good game to watch the first half. The second half, you're like, it's going to come now. You can just imagine you were waiting for that goal to happen.
Oh, I think Newcastle will be kicking themselves. Like, Isaac had a few chances. He'd probably think he put away on other days.
Yeah.
But on what we learned as well, my thing was the exact same. Like, there wasn't too much from the weekend, but of the big games. Yeah. I mean, we were skeptical of where City were a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
But then you have like literally an all-timer like KDB come back. I mean, I think he'll go down as the best attacking midfielder in Premier League history. Probably one of the best, probably the best. I mean, could be the best midfielder in Premier League history as well. And he just does what he does. Just like places the ball bottom left corner, and the assist to Oscar Bob, which by the way was a great finish. Yeah, I mean, away at Newcastle, who are like really fighting.
They need
sort of. Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of stake as well. We'll touch on that later. I just think it shows that, like, the lack of a real contender to City this season has just left the door open for them to just charge through the end of the season.
Yeah.
And, it's just this time of year, every year, they don't have Gundo, but they get KDB back.
It's and
it's like, there we go. There's a goal and an assist. And I think, they're just primed to kick on.
That's right, ridiculous. Like, and the same thing is, like, Liverpool have only lost 1 game this season. It's obviously 6 draws, but when you think about...
They've lost 1 game.
You think, okay, that should be enough to at least have, like, 8 or 5 points. They're 2 points clear.
Yeah.
And I'm still sort of trying to ride
2 points clear. And didn't City win 1 in 6?
Something like that. They went on some, like,
they won one,
draw,
it was like draw,
well,
they won 1 game in 6. And Liverpool have lost 1 game.
And they're still only 2 points clear.
At 2 points clear of City with 18 games to go. Like... And it feels like it's been this really, poor City team. And yet Liverpool have been like, the best team they've had in 4 years or 3 years.
That's just scary, right?
Salah's been scoring and assisting every week.
You can have this 1 week.
It's so scary.
And that's why I've tried to avoid talking about City too much until I said we'll talk about it eventually.
Because we know it's going to come around.
We've gotten around to this part of the season where we just talk about it every single week. Because, like, again, you're right. Newcastle, I think first half maybe edged in terms of better 2 sides, took their chances
I thought
better.
The better side in the first half.
Like some of the goals, it's all about good assists. Bruno G's assist, first time little chip over the top, and the goals were like, I think you said it as well, like the goals were just ridiculous. Some of like the first time take it out your feet,
Yeah.
bang, far corner.
Oh yeah, Anthony Gordon's goal.
Yeah.
And I mean, Kyle Walker would had a couple of minutes he want to forget.
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, we've been hyping up the right backs all year.
Here on
Trips
skates.
and Walker, and now like in the space of a couple of months,
Has
they've
stinkers.
both just had like some of the worst games I've seen them play in years.
Yeah.
Because Kyle Walker, he got turned inside twice. Something you would expect an experience.
Someone like him,
Yeah.
you'd think that them to goal, but the fact they just jinked inside, he was just like shops. It was like, yeah.
It's something we've seen him not do for a while now, and happened 2 times in a couple of minutes. It was a bit disappointing for him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they can play that sort of meh first half, still be in the game. And, like, yeah, you're probably right. Until De Bruyne came on, it didn't look like they were definitely going to score.
Yeah.
Once he came on, it just felt like
it's just so easy.
the inevitable was like...
He just came on. I mean, it was just like... I just found it hilarious. He just looks... He doesn't look like the athlete the rest of them look. No discredit to KDB, but you know what I mean? Like, kind of just strolls on. Yeah. The hair was like kind of weirdly slicked back. And then, but he just gets in the ball and like, just so easily put the ball in the bottom left corner. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Megs Botman, like,
yeah.
He's one of the top defenders in the league.
Yeah.
Takes a few touches, just picks his spot. And the fact you rolled it in as well, it was almost like mocking the keeper as well. Like, I'm just going to roll it into that corner.
It didn't hit it with anything. It didn't move.
Just so well placed.
It was just like a pass. He just passed the ball back in the net. And then obviously the assist was, I think, something we expect more from KDB.
Yeah, that's just like, I think I was saying...
91st minute.
As well, like, in the games like that, when they had 2 banks of 4, it was like 8 behind the ball. I don't think anyone, maybe outside of maybe your Kroos and Modric, has picked that pass out. He's currently playing football, maybe the Ozils and stuff like that. But I couldn't name you anyone else right now in the Premier League who's going to pick that pass out. That's the levels that they've got. And Haaland's back in that 2 or 3 games time. Mm-hmm. It just could get scary.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's why I think it's so hard to not look at City as like almost clear favourites at this point. They've gotten to where they are now, equal games with Liverpool, two points behind.
Yep.
And City haven't had their golden, record breaking striker.
Yeah.
And all time center attacking mid for like a while now.
The
whole season for KDB.
Yeah.
And feels like almost half the season now for Haaland. It's been that long, I feel, since he's been back. But it feels impossible to deny the fact that they're going to kick on and hopefully probably storm away with the league. Unfortunately,
it could be done in 2 months' time.
Yeah.
Who knows? Hopefully,
it's feeling a little bit scary, to be honest.
Yeah, it could be a top 4 battle rather than the top of the table. But yeah, that's what we learned from the weekend. City are well and truly now into gear. The first game, again, a few ball fests this weekend, but the first one was Burnley 1, Luton 1. Luton probably a good look first period, came away with a point, probably take it away from home. But I guess the big controversy was the keeper interference foul on Trafford. Now, the whole game, there was he had a bit of Pickford antics going on with the whole jumping on the ball, rolling, time wasting. Had 2 early on, I think, where he got fouled as well, throwing his body around. And it just felt like the referee was sick of his antics why he didn't pay it on the field. And we know they don't pay it on field. Yeah. You can't...
It's very hard to turn over for one of those. And
in my mind, I think Adebayo fouls him. To be honest, he sticks his ass out, so it blocks his run. But then it goes to this whole thing again, like, what are our standards at with what referees are supposed to do? Like, I'm not piling on this referee because it's happened all year. It's happened for 5 months now since we've been in the league. We don't know the rules. And that's just a frustrating thing. In terms of, I guess, where you come from, did Luton get a point? Is that a better point for Luton, or is it Burnley just getting a point and trying to close that gap?
I think in terms of who is happier with that, I'd say Luton 100%. Burnley are at the point now where they need 3 points against Luton. Yeah. As in, it really is sort of do or die for them now, because they're just like a little bit further off.
Yeah.
Whereas Luton have shown they're capable of picking up points, not just against their rivals, but against top teams. So it's teams, Luton can go into any game thinking we can scrape a few points here. I feel like in terms of position to stay up, Luton definitely looked better off to...
I think we're separating Luton from the rest now. It's funny, Everton is still, as much as they've played some good football, they're still around that mark.
They're still 17th.
We talked about Brentford off air as well. They're you were very good in that goal at the start of the season.
It's about my only prediction, which has gone all right, to be honest.
There's that one as well as Nottingham Forest.
And then Tony will be back soon. There's Everton should be clear at the bottom 4.
Yep. Definitely.
And then we look at Brentford and they're missing their star man who's coming back.
He's just got
and it's
plus.
There's so much more. You can make it a case for all the teams around the bottom three, like Brentford and Everton, to just get better.
Yeah.
But then you look at the three that are in the relegation zone, and it's just not looking like there's any sort of edge to keep them up. I mean,
long day.
As much as like I think we were all saying we're also talking about reflecting on our preseason predictions. Yeah. It's like we all sort of had Burnley to maybe be the team that kicked on and stayed up, but like I think looking back at it, a lot of that was like a bit of hope that like one of these guys is going to be good.
We're like praying someone can stay up. Please.
I mean, it'd be it would be amazing if Luton can stay up. Like for the club. The whole stadium, the whole sort of like aura around Luton, like small underdog sort of story thing. It would be great, I think, for English football if that could happen. Yeah. But it's just not looking good, man.
It's just a miracle. But I think out of all of them, they're head and shoulders. That's why I think, as a counterpoint, I think Luton would be upset they didn't get 3 points because they want to be. They get 3 points, they go 17th, and they have a game at Everton, and that's a difference to a mental side the game gets into as well. Obviously, we know Everton come good towards the end of the season. They just have a way to stay up. But still, as long if you had that edge, just mental edge, or just like seeing yourself above, I think it's definitely a real thing. A little bit of opportunity
as the season creeps on. Like one less game in hand to edge away. Yeah, like 100%. So I 100% get you what you're saying there. But in terms of like if you were Vincent Kompany and we saw post match, like the passion.
Yeah, I think
sort of like
I think it's getting to a little bit as well.
100%.
Yeah.
Like
you're seeing it, rattled a bit.
Yeah, you could see how much it meant to him and you could sort of tell that like that he looked at that like they needed that massive. They needed those 3 points massively.
Touching it,
and it's not looking good for him.
We said that was like that 4 or 5 week period where they had a few gettable games.
I think they got one of them.
They got Sheffield. They battered Sheffield.
They battered Sheffield, and we were like, okay, maybe they're going to kick on here, and it's sort of clicking, but once again, we're seeing that
they've had moments. They got
they're picking up points against the same guys that they battered last year.
It's just
they just haven't been able to. Their brand just hasn't been on the level. They're just not as good as executing their style of play.
You can't do it in the Premier League
as the guy. Yeah, exactly. They just don't have the quality.
We saw Fulham. We thought that'd be the same thing, but like
Fulham. But they actually had Mitrovic. They had Paulinho. They had these players. They had Marco Silva.
Yeah,
they had Fulham. Compared to Burnley, like in hindsight, it's night and day in terms of similar sort of ideology coming up, but in terms of the ability to execute it, the quality there is night and day.
Yeah.
And I mean, as much as I looked at Burnley with the most upside coming up, it just hasn't panned out for them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a difficult result for, I guess, both teams. They probably both come out that not happy with that one there. Yeah. Next one was Chelsea-Fulham. Kept a keen eye on this one. It was the early kickoff, so kept a keen eye on this one. 1-0 again, another bit of a ball fest again in many regards. Chelsea, again, it felt like it was going to go the same way where they were just going to play good but not get a result. Yeah. Cole Palmer gets penalty, slots it away.
Yeah, penalty though, once again, they just can't score from open play.
They just struggle. They hit the crossbar, hit the upright twice at the crossbar, I think once.
It's actually mental. They just can't put the ball in the net, man.
Broja had some good chances first half.
Yeah, well, my man Broja.
We were backing him in.
I know.
But he's done not a lot, and Kunku's injured again. It's just...
Yeah,
they've won 4 in a row at home now, so it looks like if you extrapolate, it looks all right. But again, it's just like
at least they're getting the results now, right?
You watch them and you're like, how is this team like? What's like the midfield looks good. Enzo in there, Cole Palmer's on his thing from the flank. It's like okay, it should work, but it's just frustrating to watch Chelsea play. I don't know if it's the same with you. I just feel like I watch them and think, what's the plan?
Yeah, 100%.
And I just feel so bad for Poch.
It feels like they get the ball around there a lot. It's just like
it's in great areas.
Yeah, and then there's just like a lack of like a cutting edge. Obviously, they can't finish. We've spoken about this every week, whether it's Nicholas Jackson or Broja in this case. Yeah. It's just they cannot put the ball in the net.
Yeah,
but that also feels like they always have the ball edge of the box. In possession around in the other opposition's half.
Yeah.
And they just like struggle to create these clear cut chances. Like they're trying to do these cross sort of box like passes to the byline and whip it back, but it gets intercepted. And I understand it. It definitely is frustrating.
It's just
100%.
confusing to watch because there's like you've got like players like Sterling that's a direct player. Then you got Cole Palmer who's more of a intricate player. You have got Enzo who's more of an intricate player. Then there's Gallagher who probably wants to just steam balls through the line over the top. And it's just like it's so many just misfits
Yeah, you have these
together.
wingers in Sterling and Mudryk.
Yeah, like it's
just complete opposite to what
Cole Palmer's about. And Cole Palmer's your best player.
And he's used to playing with that City team. You with Bernardo Silva and KDB.
Always their 1-2s and triangles. I just feel bad for Poch because again we talked a bit about last week how we ranked him. We thought in the end fairly, but it feels like it's just a bit harsh that he's been dumped this lot of shit race. Is what it feels like, and he's gotten the most I think he possibly could out of. Maybe you could have got a few more results, but I just look at it and think like if you're Poch and you go to a match where you got so much talent but so much just to put together, it's going to be overwhelming to try and put that team together. I don't know how you want the best names
on the park.
Yeah.
But at the same time...
Who are you sacrificing then?
We know these guys aren't going to gel.
Yeah.
We've just touched on this. The Chelsea is such an interesting situation at the moment. This is the other factor is that they have all these players and they've spent so much money. And they've invested in what looks like good players individually. But they haven't invested in a unit at all. And that's the problem is that it feels like you're going to have to go spend another couple $100 million to sign players who are going to complement each other.
It's the whole philosophy thing, right?
Yeah,
Do they play? And then now you're playing, there's half these players even want to play with this philosophy and then it's just like, I just feel like it's going to be a never-ending circle until they finally just, like you're saying with Manchester United and like you said, with probably best said with Ange and Tottenham, I think they've probably done the best business in England in terms of just buying players which they need.
Yeah.
It might not be a lot of money or a lot of players, but they've picked players they want. You've got to find a philosophy and then you've got to stick to it instead of buying, he's available for 80 million.
Yeah,
let's just get him.
100%. It looks like they've been, with Todd Bowley, it looks like they've been signing players with a lot of upside.
Yeah.
These players are probably potentially undervalued for what they could be. In terms of an investment decision, if you're just building a portfolio of players, they're all good players. I understand this guy, he's obviously got a financial background. It makes sense.
He knows what to do it. He's cooking something up, but
but he's cooking in the books.
Yeah, but not on the pitch.
But Poch is looking at this recipe and he's thinking,
how do I?
I got some flour over here with a bunch of
got some vegetables.
Yeah, with flour and vegetables. What am I supposed to do here? I need a fillet steak.
Give me some steak.
I need a striker. I need Victor Osimhen.
Yeah, give me the good stuff. Give me the meaty stuff. It's true.
Because he's got a lot of good stuff there. Organic stuff.
Fresh produce. Give me some good stuff. Yeah.
But I 100%. Poch's job, the Chelsea job right now, it feels like such a tough gig because it's just there's a lot of stuff there on paper which you feel like you can use, but it's just not they just don't click with each other.
Yeah, because even then there's a strike. I think for going another thing, I think if Arsenal get a striker, it sort of fix a little problem.
Yeah.
If you get a striker for Chelsea, it might just open another rabbit hole. That's the thing that I'm scared with Chelsea. I think they're almost towing the line. Let's just get through maybe this season, see how poorly or not poorly we do, and then sort of fill the gaps. Because right now, the only non-soluble players, you think Cole Palmer, Enzo, maybe Reece James is sellable now. And I can't see anyone else other than those two.
This is the problem as well, is that they bought all these players at they're not cheap players. No. They haven't bought them at discounts. They bought them at their market value, right?
Yeah.
If not more. So if they do suddenly decide to ship them off because they don't fit their system, you're going to be cutting crazy losses, man.
FFP's hurting teams as well.
Yeah, 100.
Newcastle.
We know that now.
Yeah.
FFP is a real thing, and I mean, even if the bigger clubs delay their punishment.
It's still going to come.
It's still going to come. It looks like it's still going to come. I mean, Everton will file a massive lawsuit if it doesn't. Put it like that. So, they Mudryk 100 mil. What are you going to do with him? They're trying to persist with him.
He's value 35 mil at the moment.
That felt like his value 12 months ago.
Yeah.
But now it is a weird one with Chelsea. I'm not sure where they go with it in the summer. But you're not wrong. I feel like they do try and just sort of scrape their way to the finish line at this point.
And just sort it out later on.
And then, I think. Do you think they persist with Poch?
I feel like maybe there's a few managers this year I'm sort of punching in their corner, but he's one of them for me. I feel like it's just you got heart done by.
You got to give him another
bit at PSG in terms of just got another awful bunch of players together. Same thing here with Chelsea, and it feels like it's Poch, right? Yeah. You said last week perfectly. Took him to a Champions League final.
Took the Spurs team and the club.
And made them
borderline in a pretty similar position to what Ange took over, right?
Yeah.
And he took a little bit longer, but it was more the instability of the club. He was able to sort of get rid of the guys he didn't want.
Yeah.
Found a few gems in there like Dele Alli, stuff like that. Yeah. And then allowed his good players like Harry Kane to really kick on and become Kane, right? So. Yeah, I think you got to persist with Poch.
And the thing with him, he knows a young squad. The Tottenham squad was a young squad. He can find it in this squad. It's just going to take time. Whereas at Chelsea, I think people aren't used to time because it used to be sack a manager getting it when you win the Premier League, sack them.
So we saw with Tuchel straight away.
Yeah, it's a weird sort of spot. And then for Fulham, tough result. They had some moments in this game, but again, like the question is still over like who's going to be there. Like Palhinha, I think Bayern are now out of the race. I think from rumors said, but
after signing Eric Dyer, play stadium.
Jesus. We're gonna touch on that.
That's funny.
I don't know what.
Yeah, I literally think Kane just wants a mate. I'm not even taking the piss. I reckon Kane.
It must be because why would you sign
English speaking
brother?
Yeah.
Tottenham through and through.
Because no one can understand Kane's English anyway, so he needs someone.
Yeah, so he's learned it along the way. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that is a bizarre.
Big
signing.
old Bayern Munich.
I know.
It'd
be going to Eric Dyer's head as well. Like he thinks, I'm Bane's new signing, baller.
He's got a big enough head as it is, man. Isn't it? He goes off filling up. That's ridiculous. So Palhinha's there to Liverpool jump in. Who goes? That thing again is going to cloud them a little bit over January.
Yeah,
I feel like MV transfer into with Fulham is a bit of like a who's going to stay, who's going to go. Once you get away from it.
I mean, there's always instability with Fulham. It feels like Marco Silva's leaving every
leaving
second month. Like
Willian, is he going to go back to Brazil? It's just and it's just like I can understand why you're not winning games of football and you got all this going on behind the scenes, but we've been impressed with their recent run. They'll be fine. But it's just again another result. They could have taken something from that game. They get lucky because of how Chelsea are. But once again, Cole Palmer to the rescue for Chelsea. Now entering segment, we've sort of not much to talk about. We've had to create a bit of a segment. Talking about, I guess, back end of the season predictions, a few just recapping our end of season awards. So we're talking about our biggest surprise from the first half of the season, most at stake for the back end of the season, player, team, coach, blah, blah, blah. Biggest surprise to come for the back end of the season, and then best signing, Golden Boot and Golden Glove. So hopefully we'll come and look back at this in a few weeks' time and say we know ball, or most commonly we'll probably stuff this one.
Should we get like our Golden Boot, Golden Glove out the way?
Yeah, the obvious ones.
I feel like, so Golden Boot,
we're going to go with
I've gone Haaland. Yeah, I mean...
Still top and yet to come back.
It's telling the fact that he's still 2 goals clear of Solanke, who's had an amazing season, right? You know,
one of a kind, one of a kind season.
And it feels like Haaland. I don't actually know how many games he's played, but it's got to be 5 or 6 now he's missed. It's got to be that. And he was sort of, he wasn't even in peak form when he was playing.
Missed so many
chances, this guy could still get 30 goals. There's 18 games left. I think he's back next game.
Yeah, next game.
Or a couple weeks.
They've got so much break time as well.
I mean, he goes a goal a game. Like, he's going to get 30 goals. He's going to get 30 goals, which is absolutely mental.
That's what I'm saying. These guys are nuts.
Yeah, this guy. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah. And in the period where City usually come good as well. So it's like
thriving. Yeah,
it's
almost a lock on.
I think yeah. You
unless
could load
Mo Salah
up
comes back now in some like crazy form where Liverpool just feed him.
Egypt nearly lost last night.
I know. He had to save him as well last
night. He
had to save Egypt. So it's dumb saving teams. So
Liverpool will be pretty pissed off with that one.
Exactly. They're going to be happy with that.
So Haaland, Golden Boot.
And Golden Glove, Alisson. I've got
Alisson as well.
I feel like if Liverpool are going to win the league, this next 5-6 games where they don't have the superstar is going to be defence.
Yeah.
Like Virgil, like 2020 form, Trent continuing the form. Got to get like Kwanzaa playing some like prime Matip from like 4 years back. It's going to require like serious defence. And if they're going to win it, it's going to be on the back of defence. It's almost in a reverse what I thought of the start of the season. When I thought City win the title off defence.
Yeah.
It's turned out the way injuries and timelines worked out. Liverpool have to like live and die by their defence. Over the next 5 weeks, that's it. But those 5 weeks...
Oh, no, this would be major in terms of... On that point, it's like... I guess for me, the reason I still don't see Liverpool even probably challenging the title is that because I've always felt their lack of like defensive strength, despite being good. It's a sort of lack of like, the consistency we've seen over like a number of years with like, Cities and now even Arsenal's. Like, I thought that was going to come back to bite them. So despite me thinking Alisson will get the Golden Glove, I think that's more so because they have a lot of nice home fixtures. Like they have Luton at home, Sheffield at home. I think they have Burnley at home as well. It's like these are games where I think we see teams really like, just like they're like real clean sheet games. And he's currently second to Pickford.
And they've played a lot of the big ones as well. They've played a lot of the big teams. They've played Newcastle twice. He scored a fair few.
Yeah.
They played City once. They got City once more. They've got United. Doesn't really count.
Yeah.
They played Tottenham. So like they've got a few.
They have a reasonably good fixture run.
To come,
in terms of their easy fixes, they all look pretty good.
Gettable.
And then scattered in there is a few tough ones, but like one of the better fixture runs, and I just see Alisson
and he's the best keeper in the league, right?
And the best, 100% best keeper in the league. It's deserving, 100%.
Yeah, it worked hand in hand in that one there. And let's check a best signing. Again, there's a few names you can put up there. You kick us off with it in yours.
So I've got like a little plot twist.
Yeah.
So I've actually, okay, as much as Declan Rice, Declan Rice is my best actual signing. And even though we're fourth, Arsenal, we're fourth. People have been debating when I say we, who am I going for? I'm an Arsenal fan despite my Ronaldo top last week. Tottenham shout out.
Yeah. Tottenham white.
But I think without Declan Rice this year, we could be
nowhere. Could be like
much
sixth.
lower than fourth. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. We could be 6th, 7th.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he single-handedly probably got us like 6 to 9 points just from his own boot.
Yeah.
As like a pretty much a solid DM this year. He's been playing pretty deep.
No
so I think 100% lived up to his price tag. I feel like he's been getting a lot of stick recently because of Arsenal because we're fourth by 5 points. We're
ridiculous.
Like City were 10 points this time last year on us.
Yeah.
They go on to win the league. I still maintain a lot of faith that we can kick on and win this league. Genuinely, I still believe we can.
Yeah.
So I think he needs his credit.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say, I think not losing Mo Salah, almost like a new signing in the summer.
That's a good pick.
Like I know it's a weird take.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
But he was so close to going to Saudi, right?
We were talking about it.
200 mil. 100. I thought he was gone.
Yeah.
The fact they've been able to keep him, I feel like, deserves a little mention as well, because where would they be without Salah this year? They're attacking, like, their front three, or their front other two besides Mo haven't really been setting the world on fire, whoever that is, if it's Diogo or Diaz or Darwin. Yeah. He's been sort of the one consistent, staple in their place, 90 minutes every week. And now that he's gone, we'll see where Liverpool are in 3 or 4 weeks if he's gone for a while. So I think that deserves a mention as well.
Definitely. I would have said Declan Rice, again, the Declan Rice fan club over here. But I've gone in terms of like impact for their team, especially since he played this week and keeping it, I guess, topical. I'll go with Cole Palmer.
Yeah. Purely because that is definitely like a good
45 mil, I think. So probably their cheapest signing they've had the last 18 months. Probably their best signing.
100%.
Again, you come from City, you expect some things, but again, to be shunted straight in this side, chucked straight in there.
Yeah, he was an outskirts player.
Yeah, he was come on for the last 20 minutes. He come to Chelsea. Chelsea's a big club, and now basically be their leader on the pitch. And the way he's playing, I don't care if it's penalties or if it's not penalties. Yeah. His impact
the ball in the net.
Is different. It's different on the field. That Luton game is the biggest example. Him and Madueke were on a difference and a wavelength. They pulled Chelsea through that game. 3-2. Could easily be a 2-2. On the weekend, if he doesn't have the penalty or he doesn't create those chances, do they draw 0-0? Like the City game, he played ridiculous against his former side. Do they get anything from that game? Yeah. Probably not. So there's so many cases throughout the season. Chelsea are struggling as it is. If they hadn't have, this guy here.
In terms of points off his own boot, I don't think anyone have more than Cole Palmer.
Tottenham game as well, good in that game. His impact in terms of signing impact for the team, him and Rice are pretty similar. He just goes above and beyond in terms of how much he changed.
Plus the value and the
100%.
I agree.
And English as
great
well.
Signing.
English tax, a lot of expectation. He's done great. So that's my best signing, I guess, for the season so far.
So far.
Now, these are the weird sort of funny questions I put together. So let's talk about the biggest surprise for this first half of the season. So what sort of shocked you that you didn't see coming?
It's nothing groundbreaking, but I think Villa needs some credit. The fact that they're third halfway through the season. I mean, I think we all expected Villa to be good, right? They invested again, but I think we had them probably 7th or 8th. Nothing like third.
Conference
especially when we feel like that top 4 was so hard to break into.
Yeah.
Being there.
And could it easily be top right now by a few points if they'd converted 100%. On some chances?
Like that has definitely been a surprise, despite the fact I thought they were going to be good.
Yeah.
Where being above us, Arsenal.
Yeah. Newcastle.
At this point. Unai needs some credit and he's done a great job. And I think Villa can kick on and sort of cement themselves in that top 4.
Will be massive.
Yeah, I think that's where they are. They're out now. They have a great club. Sort of, their club feels really solid.
Yeah,
they're investing well, and they do invest on the pitch.
Yeah.
And Unai's being backed, and I feel like Unai's, he's at a club now with a little bit less sort of media pressure.
Yeah.
Also, come into a much easier situation. I know Gerrard left it bad, but almost to his credit, they bottomed out. Right? Couldn't get any worse.
Couldn't get worse. No.
He's not taking over a 20-year regime under Wenger. The job was so much easier. And I'm actually glad Unai's done well, and they're probably my biggest surprise so far this season.
That's a fair point. I picked individual. I went Solanke's form.
Yeah.
You talked
about. He was good last year though.
He was good last year, but did we expect him to
kick on and be second, 12 goals?
The striker for a top. I'm counting Bournemouth the top half team now. The
way they play their football. Top half team.
I'm pulling out that. You know what? We need something to spice up this week's video.
Can that kick on to your next? Your biggest surprise back half of the season? Bournemouth top half team?
Might be. Especially with the way they play their football. Iriola has that aura about him. I put him very high on my manager's list as well. So I'm a bit in the Bournemouth corner here. But yeah, massive. Again, last year was great as well. But the fact he's carrying this front three, and they're all great players in the front three, but no one's clinical in that front unit. He's the one that's holding it together. That Spurs game 2 weeks ago now, he was in and around everything. And I think a striker, maybe last year or year before, years like that, these sort of strikers, are they constantly involved in the game? No, they can vanish out of games and come back. Yeah. A good striker's constantly involved. That's why some people get...
It's very reminiscent of Tony last year.
Yeah, like that. Like you constantly involve anything that happens. Create things for themselves, create things for others, score big goals, score important goals, and doesn't just go streaking. He'll continually play well. And that's like what we get frustrated with like the likes of Rashford and these other wingers in the league. Even people talking about Martinelli now, was it just a good run of form? If you can have a player like Solanke, who I think that the whole season had some good moments, has some bad moments, but has stayed consistent, that's a sign of development for me and something that can go under the radar.
And just like a quality player.
And it has everything you need to be as a forward. You said it well, Tony-esque. Links the play up, score goals, create stuff for others, create for himself. And if Bournemouth want to keep pushing on to be this sort of, bigger club with all this American backing, I think he's a key figure for us. I think he's lifted this season.
Just on Solanke as well, I feel like he's timed his potential Euros run amazingly.
With Tony being
out, Wilson's injury prone. Obviously, Kane will be
Kane's
there.
the start,
Kane's the one. But in terms of the two, like that feels really up in the air at the moment.
Watkins or Solanke, that's the question
asking. I reckon they could both go.
Yeah,
Watkins obviously been very.
But Southgate would take one striker.
I feel like Solanke, what more could he have done? There's just not much more Solanke could have done.
For a Bournemouth side as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's on 12 goals. Like
second in the Golden Boot.
That's
if I'm not
12
wrong,
goals, you'd be on track to win the Golden Boot nearly every other year.
Instead of these Haaland seasons.
He's in the Haaland era.
Like where is he?
So I just thought that was worth a little mention.
Absolutely.
He's making a great case for Europe.
Maybe he's not. I thought he had a few more assists, but I think probably has 2 assists as well. Yeah. That'd be, by the way, that Euro side for England. That's to me a lot of spotlight around who plays.
There's so much talent there, man.
Does James Maddison go now?
Southgate.
Like I can't wait for that podcast. That'll be a long one. That one there because we'll be debating that siding for a long time. Because
that'd be good. England Euro squad debate would be good.
They've got about 40 players that could put that in that side, but who makes is a big question. Let's go a bit negative. Most at stake for the back end of the season.
Most at stake.
There's a lot of, by the way, there is a lot of people that could have, and players and teams at stake. Yeah.
And because it was so tough, I've really struggled here. I've kind of bailed out. I've gone like the position most at stake is that 4th position. I feel like top 4.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of managers whose jobs could be done.
Yeah.
I feel like Eddie Howe's got a lot at stake.
That's my one. Yep. Yeah.
So you got Eddie Howe.
I got Eddie Howe. Yep.
Yeah. I think Ten Hag could be a lot at stake. Obviously, if for some reason Arsenal just like keep going backwards, like and we don't get 4th, then I feel like Arteta's done as well.
Yeah.
I think his job's gone. Yeah. So I think that 4th position.
That's probably a better way to put it.
Is 1 up for grabs a lot.
Absolutely.
And 2, a lot. I think it could end. I think a couple guys could lose their jobs.
2 managers could go.
That. Yeah, I think even more potentially.
You're not getting this spot because I think Eddie Howe's close. Ten Hag's definitely close.
I think Eddie Howe's done 100% if they don't get top 4. 100%. They've invested so much,
especially the run of form they've had.
And they're just like they've lost that St. Mary's sort of like aura a little bit.
It's just like that whole identity.
Sorry, not St. Mary's. St. James.
St. James. Yeah, they've just lost the identity of like defense was going to be their way they win games. Like, I know it's City, but if you're at home and you're 2-1 up, second half, you're not conceding. I know it was KDB and Magic, but still, you don't because
if you want to be a top 4 team,
you can only concede 1 goal. You don't concede because then you're still in the game. You can still score and win the game. That's what's going for me. Like obviously that great little FA Cup win against Sunderland, cool. That mask over a crack, and I think it was reopened on the weekend. The fact that
that's a massive mask. Like beating Sunderland, I understand there's the rivalry that Man,
you got to be in that at least top 5. Like now that Villa's been put in
obviously
there,
the top 5 could be 5th spot could be Champions League as well.
But yeah, this whole quotient thing where it goes, I think someone has to win it now. I think that's the base how it's going to have to work out because of Newcastle and Man. You see, they've sort of shot themselves in the foot the way they didn't qualify.
Exactly. I mean, and that is a massive sort of impact on this stake thing as well. Is that like they've completely ruined Europe.
Champions League, yeah.
So I feel like I would bet that either Ten Hag or Eddie Howe will lose their job if they don't make top 4.
It could be Poch as well. Like we know as you just said, we're being like we think he should stay, but media and probably think different ways as well. So he could be going as well.
I think check the ladder because I genuinely feel like that position is so up for grabs. Like I highlighted to you, Brighton's fixture run of the next 10 or next 8 is very good.
Gettable. And then it goes...
And if they can find some form here and kick on against some of those big games in the back half of the season, sort of stretch, and steal some points, then they genuinely become part of that. They are currently in 7th or 8th or whatever it is. And it's like the gap between 4th, so 40 points is up. So, sorry, Spurs are there as well. So obviously Ange is fine.
Ange is good. He's got
his job is amazing.
Yeah.
But like... There is so much catching up. I mean, Newcastle are 10th.
It's crazy.
29 points. Like, I just can't see the owners sticking with him.
I think he hangs around for the end of the season, but if you end up
seeing... I think he gets there, but...
Chelsea, Brighton, hypothetically Wolves or Bournemouth, if one of them go ahead, you're done. Like,
I don't think they get there, but or higher than them, but as in, they're putting pressure on 100%.
The fact that Wolves and Bournemouth are literally... with their game in hand, could go ahead of Newcastle. So come the next weekend, I'm pretty sure Newcastle could be 12th.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, so 11th. So Wolves
even then.
Wolves could do them. But Bournemouth, literally right behind.
How's that? That's just snuck up on us. Newcastle were around, I know they were around 7th or 8th.
Is it the fact that the injuries and Botman have sort of... Because remember at the start of the season, you were really big on the impact of Botman.
He's back now, though. He's been back a couple of weeks.
He's back a couple of weeks now, but... Do you reckon that's why no one's really talked about them for a little bit?
I think they've been cut a bit of slack for sure. Like, you've got Lewis Miley in there who's sort of had to come in and play this big role as a 17-year-old. They've had injuries 100%. I know Harvey Barnes has been out pretty much the whole season. Sven Botman, as I said, or as we said, has been a massive injury. No Nick Pope. But look, Dubravka's not bad.
Some big saves on the
weekend. Nick Pope isn't necessarily some major... game style player. He's just a very, very good keeper. Yeah, right? He's not I don't look at Nick Pope's injury and think, that's going to ruin their structure. Maybe whereas if Edison's out or Onana's out for you guys, in theory, they should be a massive sort of because you guys build it from the back sort of thing.
Yeah.
I know Newcastle have had injuries, but I don't look at them that's really killing the way they're playing. I don't know.
Mentality-wise, I think it was the only thing for me because you have your big money sign Tonali, and then this goes back onto the club though.
As well.
This goes back on the club. Do you sign because they obviously have an idea that investigations are going on.
You do a bit of a backhand check.
That's on them. If you're buying a guy that could literally go down after 2 games, it was 2 or 3 games he played, and he was taken out with this whole. So that's the thing.
That's mental.
Things are going wrong for them. I understand the slack given, but now that things are coming back together, and Chelsea have had bad injuries, and United
everyone
have had a bad
has
run.
Injuries.
Man City have had probably the 2 best players in the league go down.
And they literally have had their 2 best players out.
Yeah.
And I know they have more squad depth, blah blah blah. But
still,
they're
so influential.
They're 2 points from the top. Yeah. Newcastle shouldn't be below some of these. They shouldn't be below
Brighton. The fact that Brighton's form has been
Brighton who've lost all their good players and have had injuries.
Yeah.
And
that's probably more the point. You're behind some of these teams where you're really? Poorest Chelsea team, poorest United team. That's probably the poor things. That's why
you've gone Eddie Howe, and I've gone Eddie Howe /
You said it better, though. Yeah. Whoever doesn't sort of make that 4th or maybe even 5th spot, you're in trouble then. And that means... final thing, which is I guess a bit of fun, the biggest surprise for the back end of the season.
Okay,
what's going to shock the world in terms of...
What have you done? Have you gone Bournemouth?
I haven't gone Bournemouth. I've gone...
You got to give them a little mention. Yeah, maybe top half team.
I think they might finish top half. My second favourite, my West Ham for Antonio. My West Ham's Luton. I think if
West Ham for Antonio is Luton. That's fine.
That makes sense. My second team.
You reckon Luton stay up?
To Luton to stay up.
I like that
because it's bold, but I think the last few weeks I've just gone.
So you're going to say who goes down?
I think
this is tough, man.
I think Forest could go. I think Forest could go. And I hate to say it because it has some great players there. But again, Brentford, I can't see them going because Thomas Frank's a mastermind.
And they have a game in hand on
And I
Forest.
think Everton are going to be very close.
Everton are fine.
I think Everton's going to be close, but we know how good they finish their seasons off.
I look at Everton like you have to look at them like they're on 27. And if you just get... If they get half the points they would have had on 27, which is like, you know, like 13, 14.
Yeah, 15-ish around that mark.
Like, then if they only get half those points, like 13, 14, they get to 30, and Luton would have to double what they did to stay up. I don't know. I feel like Everton would have to really stink up the gap.
No, they would. And obviously after last night, it's probably not convenient.
It could be a surprise. It'd be a massive surprise.
Everton obviously lost 3 in a row coming into that, and it's just like, ooh, what's going on? And again, it's all just a bit on edge. But I think out of all the teams, Forest could be the one that drops.
Yeah, of all the teams, I agree.
Because Nuno would be really... New manager bounce is good now, but can it take you throughout the whole season? I don't think. I really rate Rob Edwards. I think he could find a way maybe to get it done.
Yeah, I think Luton will be the closest of the bottom 3, 100%. I think we've sort of said Sheffield done, obviously. Yeah. Burnley, we'd have to be miraculous.
They're like the final string. I think they're final straw right now. They need to get something.
But I 100% agree. I think of who could go down, I think Forest are the one. Your big surprise, I sort of touched on it. I think Brighton.
Yeah,
after
slandering
De Zerbi, I want to make my stance clear. I think De Zerbi's a top manager.
It's the Premier League,
and he will be. And he will be fifth or fourth best in the league for me. If Brighton can go and do what I think they can do, which is really kick on, and definitely get top 7.
Yeah,
I think Brighton can.
So you're saying Europa League qualification will be the shock? Like if they get 6, they get that 6th spot.
I think it's hard to say because I know they're currently like 7th or 8th, and it's like not much of a surprise. But I think it's more so just what they'll do, like the games they'll pick up points in.
Yep.
They have a few players out over the next few, like Matoma's away on international duty, but like they'll get players like Solly March back soon, and
can't wait to see Solly March.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Solly
back. For real
Esther's back now. Like I just look at this next. I think you can go 2 ways. I think you can go pear shape, where they get no points in the next few, and then they get no points, and they get even less points
with the big
against the good teams.
Yeah.
Or they could go on a decent run now. You know, get a bit of form, and then really kick on to like the Brighton we saw sort of last year.
They finish the season
and finish the season on fire, and you know, pick up a few points against some shot games, outplay some big teams, and cause the guys around them to drop points, and then pick up points on them and finish as high as like fifth or 4th even. I think they could get that high. Huge. I think there's the gap is not that big.
It's not ridiculous, no, it's not.
Yeah, where they could go and, you know, shock the league, mate. And I'm going to be rooting for Brighton a little bit. Yeah. That guy Welbs. I want to see him in the Champions League.
No, like Danny's return.
Imagine that.
Oh, you know, and even Europa League as well.
They're both exciting predictions.
If either happen, we're here back in bulk calls. But yeah, there's the most creative segment I've ever made in my life. That was all from the dome, man. Well, we talked about Newcastle for a bit. That leads to our next game. Newcastle 2, City 3.
Yep.
Sort of prefaced it early on the show with the whole KDB stuff.
Show.
Man, it's a bit scary. It's just a bit like I said it to the chat. Like he's now the Premier League's villain. Like he's come back and just going to be like, how do you stop?
He just torments everyone. I mean, I don't want to verse him again.
It's scary.
KDB just runs amok against us every time.
Got Bernardo Silva, his ridiculous finish as well. Yeah. Like the fact you got 2 of those blokes running around your midfield, just like.
So do you feel like Bernardo Silva's finally getting some of the credit he deserves?
I feel like it is because now
it's currently happening.
Yeah, you know how like De Bruyne's coming back. It's like let's appreciate what we've had over the last. It's like it's almost worked in reverse. You think while he's away, you'd realise what Bernardo Silva's done, but no. Now that De Bruyne's come back, everyone's like, oh wait, Bernardo Silva's been here for the last 6 or 5 months since De Bruyne's been away. He's held down
the last 5 years.
Yeah, on top of that as well. Yeah. Oh yeah, this guy's actually hard.
Like, how old is Bernardo Silva?
He looks about 50 years old. It's ridiculous.
The hairline, the hair is crazy.
Hairline looks like a hobbit. Like, but no, this guy's he's crazy good. And for Portugal as well, underrated.
How old do you reckon he is?
27.
He's 29.
29, okay.
But in the way he plays, he's got years left, man.
Time, and he could play how old was Kroos and Modric? 37,
like 30. This is what I mean.
He could be those guys.
In the sort of archetype of the player he is, he's got time. Like, you know, he doesn't rely on his pace.
Vision.
He's not strength or anything like that. He's purely like, you know, the artistic style of the game, good in the ball. You know what he does with the ball at his feet.
Brother does not defend. He just
picks up the ball deep and just does spins on it.
It's crazy. The fact that he could have De Bruyne's 32. Yeah, you get De Bruyne for another 4 or 5 years hypothetically. You could have Bernardo for another 10 years. That's just like what?
That's mental.
Another 10 titles there locked away.
It's just like, it is very scary.
It's ridiculous.
But I'm glad Bernardo Silva is finally getting some of the plaudits he deserves because, you know, this is going to sound dumbass, but he's one of those players on FIFA, right? Like you just never use. So, these midfielders like Cruz and Modric and Bernardo Silva and even KDB to an extent, you just never use them on FIFA because they got no pace. And as a result, all the casuals don't give them respect. Yeah. But it's like genuinely, when you watch Bernardo Silva on the ball, he is so good on the ball, it's ridiculous. Like, and because he's maybe never had, he's always been outshined by Gundo's and KDB's actual output. Yep. He's never been in the spotlight.
And Rodri's already got Rodri had like the last year behind him. Yeah,
it's always been so hard to get any sort
of but him
credit. But now I feel like he's getting it because City are still doing the same thing they've done the last 5 years, without KDB, without Gundo.
Yeah. Barca need him. Barca kept coming for him. They need him.
Yeah, no wonder Barca need him more because he's
Barca's struggling. So they need him. In terms of that, like not much I was talking on. We talked about the goals obviously before. But now a lot of pressure builds at Newcastle. I think the last 3 games they've dropped 2 at home, which was the Fortress. They lost to Forest, lost to City now.
Losing to Forest, man.
That was grim.
So it's a bit unfortunate getting the bounce back game.
Obviously, but still like Forest.
Chris Wood, bro.
Getting cooked by Chris Wood. That's a low point.
Chris Wood, lad.
The New Zealander striker. Yeah, that's crazy.
Got bullied in the school. Funny, man.
That's grim. Actually, that's sackable in its own regard. Getting like bossed by Chris Wood.
I know. That is just the epitome. Yeah, getting bossed by Chris Wood is like how Newcastle's season's been going so far.
Who have they got? I was wondering who they got next few weeks. It could be like.
Well, I know
Villa away next week.
Yeah,
or next game week.
Villa away. You know that if they lose that and the guys around them win.
Yeah. Where do you go now?
What did you say? They go 11th.
Oh, yeah, they
just keep sliding.
I just realised Bournemouth had another game in hand because they had their game postponed as well. So Bournemouth could actually go ahead of them if they were equal in games.
Oh my God. If Newcastle lose, Wolves win, Bournemouth win, then they'll go 12th.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, and if Fulham win that hypothetically, they'll be around 3 points on 13th. Like,
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
You know, it's...
Are we seeing...
Could Eddie Howe get sacked soon?
I think, yeah.
In the next few weeks?
Now, this is me really pulling on strings, but they've got Luton off at home. Like, if you lose that, that's done. That's done.
If you draw that?
I think it's done. I think you're done. If you draw or lose to Luton after losing to Villa and losing to City, and that's gone. You're gone. Yeah. There's no chance. Because those Geordie fans have expectations now. They want to be
and the management for sure have expectations.
Yeah, they've invested some serious money in this thing.
Eddie's he's done a good job, but he does feel like a bit of the gap manager. He feels like
the Ole
take a hit there, 100%. Bit of an Ole,
he's maxing out. He can only go so far.
Yeah, 100. It does feel a bit like that.
Don't get me wrong. I think he's 10 times the manager Ole is, but it's the same thing where he's like it's like when you max out revs in the car. You're like we can't go further.
The gearbox, you're
burning up.
The engine can only rev.
Yeah, it's got to explode. We're gonna hit critical in any second. So yeah, it's harsh on him.
It's like a solid, he's like a V6 hybrid. I don't even know that's the thing. He's like a hybrid,
He's a bit electrical about him, yeah.
Bit of green energy in there. Yeah. You like him a little bit.
But if you want to progress, we need the Ferraris, we need the big motors.
Bring in
Rafa Benitez back.
Bring Rafa back. Wow, what's that? Like a Mustang.
A real
like an old Porsche.
Yeah, like an old Aston, like a nice,
one of them.
The streets won't forget sort of things. No, but bit of pressure. Bit of pressure. Waffle, car waffle.
Eddie Howe, what is he like a? It's like whatever Toyota's new.
I was going to say Toyota, but I feel like it's so harsh.
whatever Mazda's new hybrid is. He's like a Mazda hybrid.
It's up there.
He can he's got some acceleration. But the top speed is like here.
Yeah, we want 220 kph. We want to kick on this 150 stuff.
He goes the speed limit. Yeah. He doesn't speed.
We want Champions League. We want 220. We want
doesn't play the music too loud.
Windows are never down this guy's car. The windows are purely up in this guy's car. So Newcastle.
Yep.
Mazdas and hybrids. That's the best way to sum it up.
We needed a bit of waffle.
Oh, absolutely. We are clinging on. This is grim. This is like off season stuff again. We're just trying to make time up. Top 5 players now. So
top 5 young players.
Yeah, it's just be a segue. Oscar Bob. Let's talk about that. That was a great finish, great goal. He's a young player. We're talking about 5. How many words? Emerging players. We obviously know the superstars around the league. We tried our best not to be as casual as possible.
We'll put it like this. Cole Palmer.
We know Cole Palmer. We know Cole Palmer's good. Yeah, we know Cole Palmer's good.
Yeah, we know he's good.
Yeah, we know your doggy's good. Like
I wanted to put your doggy in, we know although I kind of came. He's too emerged.
Yeah, we know Enciso's good. Like
Enciso's done bits last year. Scored a banger against Chelsea last year. Like we know. Yeah, so we've tried to go a little bit more
before they
on the edge.
Yeah,
I've got a couple who are sort of cementing themselves right now.
Yeah, I've got a few who are starting. A few that a lot to come in the future. Yeah. So I've sort of mixed. I try to show a few.
Actually, no. I think I've stuffed here. I think I've gone. You go.
Sorry, okay.
You go.
Should we go 1 for 1?
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go 1 for 1.
You do who you think I have.
Okay. Kobe Manu first then.
I got Manu as well. You talk about him because you watch him every week.
Yeah. Okay. That's last night was actually quite poor. I was actually quite disappointed with him. But outside of that, every week where he gets dragged, the fans are unhappy. So that's probably the best.
Yeah, but they're unhappy when Hoyland gets dragged as well.
But he's actually
decent.
Good as well. He's decent. No, like when you have Casemiro and then you lose him, you realise how shitload your players are. But the fact that Kobe Manu can sort of stop gap is probably the best compliment I can give the guy. The fact he's 18 and he's sort of doing what Casemiro can do at the probably peak of his powers last year is probably the biggest compliment I can give the guy.
It's getting a bit scary, yeah. Do you remember like a couple of years ago when these guys were coming through the scene and they were the same age as us?
Yeah, now they're like younger than us.
3 years younger than us.
Yeah, Blood is 18.
Yeah, they're 2-3 years younger
than us. He's at school. He's
and it's like, lads.
Yeah. Help us out, yeah.
Go do it. What do they do? GCS. What do they call it? GCSEs.
GCSEs.
Get
your A-stars. Get your A-stars and your GCSEs. Help us out here. No,
it's mental, lad.
Yeah, and he plays like a 30-year-old. He's just so composed in the ball, and God, he's probably worth a fair bit now. Like obviously the United tax rate pumps him up, but
that's a real thing.
It's genuine because he actually deserves it though. He's one of those ones that actually deserves.
If you're doing it at United, you're going to be worth more.
You've got to get something, yeah. And it's not like Rashford's and Garnacho's where they sort of pop up onto the scene and sort of like have their moments. It's like he hasn't had a moment. He just had continual good
stuff. He scored?
No. But he got close in the Champions League.
That's the thing. He hasn't even scored yet. Like, usually these guys, I'll probably use that as Lewis Miley, right?
Yeah.
He's been kind of similar to Manu in the sense of, playing in midfield. But and then he scored recently, and that was kind of like, the big moment for him as he's really emerging now. Yeah. Really emerging now. But I think he's still 17.
Yep.
Obviously, I had Manu on my list as well. But yeah, Lewis Miley for me is I just think he's been doing he's been playing a great role in a Newcastle team, which has had injuries, and he sort of had to come in probably a little bit underdone, not super ready yet, but he's shown he is up to it, and he's probably been one of the shining lights in a relatively poor Newcastle team over the last couple months, and I think he's one who could definitely kick on and become like a Premier League starting midfielder for years to come.
Yeah, it could be at any club, I feel like. And like I was saying to Nathan actually in the midweek podcast last week, we could be seeing like England's like 30 something Euros line where you got Bellingham, Manu, and Miley, because these guys as much as it sounds ridiculous.
Is that like a disservice to Bellingham putting him?
Yeah. Oh, so Bellingham will be like the captain's arm experience. These are the young guys coming in, like, because there's only so long you play Henderson for. You can only play till he's 30-something years old. Because I'm big on Miley as well. I haven't got him in, but I've talked about him a fair bit on this podcast. Super, in terms of like in the Champions League, it's PSG, Borussia Dortmund. Like, we're not talking about like Shakhtar and like Red Star. And these are like the group of death. Yeah. You were chucked in there. Newcastle had to win these games, and you're probably one of the better players in this team.
Yeah, 100%. Like he was borderline best player on the pitch.
Yeah, like
in some of those games.
That's when that goes. Like you're playing against Mbappe, Royce. Like this ain't to muck around. And when you're playing for Newcastle and you're the best player and probably your team, one of the best on the pitch. Yeah. That goes to show where you're at. My next is Oscar Bob.
I got Oscar Bob as well.
From the weekend. That's sort of where the segment came from.
He feels like one last year. Like he feels like he sort of emerged last year. Sort of like Rico Lewis a bit last year as well. Yeah, a bit of Rico
tax as well, yeah.
But Oscar Bob's probably like the next in line from Rico.
Yeah,
it was Cole, Rico, Oscar.
Yeah.
And then, there's one more in there. I'm forgetting someone, I think.
I'll find his name. He scored in the Champions League. I remember.
I forget. There's someone else in there I'm forgetting. But Oscar Bob, obviously convenient timing.
That's where the segment came from.
I'm
not going to lie. I'm not going to like make that, this was planned 5 weeks in advance.
But it's good to highlight him. Like, City's academy, man. Like,
do you reckon it's the best in the league?
It's actually crazy because like City are known for spending all this money. But they're actually so smart because they're like, we're gonna mask this part of our this 10-year part of our history with the next 20 years, where we're just gonna create gems and like everyone's gonna know us through our academy. Like we're not gonna buy, Sancho, Phil Foden, Cole Palmer's doing his thing now. There's players who are just coming through now who look not just like Premier League, they look like top of the table Premier League. They're doing it for City, right? We've seen Cole Palmer, who should be number 1 on this list if we were going to do that.
If we were, it'd be that way.
Who was like an outskirts player at City, who is now Chelsea's best player and looks on borderline daylight on the rest of the players he's playing with. Like, this academy is mental.
I just think it goes down to actually spending money. Like, you can say you should spend money, but if you spend in the right ways, there's your outlook. Because the big thing is apparently this academy is like in terms of like infrastructure, it just like shits on everyone else.
How much is that? I understand infrastructure is important, but it's like...
But doesn't it help attract? Because like again, a lot of these guys just get taken away.
Yeah, helps attract players for sure.
Yeah, random parts.
Ice baths are only going to do something.
Yes.
Ronaldo
said that the saunas are the same.
I love the sauna. The physio's good, but in terms of attracting the best youth, 100%. That's the upside for sure.
And then obviously Pep comes in with his old mentality, and that must filter.
Oh yeah, I mean
all the way down.
Not only is the infrastructure good, but it's like you're going to
the
Man
greatest
City,
manager of
right?
probably all time. So that obviously helps a part of it all. But the big thing, and this is the thing we've always talked about: spend the money in the right way. Chelsea, United, Arsenal in the past, if you spend money the wrong way, you set yourself back 10 years. They spend it the right way. They set themselves forward 10 years. Mm-hmm. You've got all these young talents and you've got attractability. And like players won't be going through the United Academy or the Chelsea Academy. They're going through the City's Academy now because that's a better academy.
Why would you ever go to United's Academy now? If you're a young kid, anyone younger than us, even us, like we've grown up in an era now where City have been by far the best Manchester team, by far.
Yeah, they've taken basically everything you can take off.
All of our sort of actual memories is of City holding up the cup.
Yeah. Why,
if you were a Manchester-born kid or any England-born kid, would you like, particularly Manchester though? Like,
both in
like these two neighbours, same drive. Like, why would you? And you have offers from both. Why would you ever go to?
No. Makes no
United over City. I mean, one, it looks like City players get borderline more exposure.
Actually get to play
Foden's there. Like, he would be like the mantelpiece of like their academy. Like, Phil
this
Foden.
Is our first
and he's still so young. He's still like 23, 24. It's like, so 100% Man City's academy. We could have picked 3 or 4 from City. But Oscar Bob is the one for us.
Yeah. Like, to finish it off, like you've taken the trophies off United. You've taken the treble off United. You've taken the academy off United.
You've taken the aura away from United.
Literally, but now all you need to do is take away the whole "we are the biggest" because literally you've taken what United were known for, which is the class of '92. You've got that now in your academy. You've got the treble, which United was known for because no one else has done that in England. Taken that, you've won all these trophies like United did back in the '90s and 2000s. So all you need to take now is they've already somewhat taken the Euro, but take that whole thing, stay in a way of little brother, big brother, because
a few more trophies. I think that's gone. I don't care. I know United fans will cling on to this. And I understand it's true. Like, I'm an Arsenal fan. What am I talking? We have no race in history, right?
Yeah.
I'm clinging on to bloody gold trophy. I'm holding that thing real tight. But at the same time, like, how much longer does City need to do this
until that
to be the bigger club? Yeah. I know that's a lot longer, but I tell you, recency bias is a real thing.
That's a real thing. Yeah.
And if all the people who saw United being good start dropping dead. They're dropping dead before the young kids. There's not too many more people
no, I can hold on to
who are going to be saying, "Oh, United, I love the
99 treble."
Like, literally the 99 treble. Like, I mean, the 23 treble, mate.
Yeah, looking a little bit better than the 99 treble the way they went about it. Yeah, that definitely.
So City. They're
there.
They're there.
They're absolutely there.
And they got these young stars coming through.
Absolutely. Your third player?
So I had Miley. No, my fourth. I had Manu, Miley, Oscar Bob. I've stuffed this up. So we shouldn't have said Julian Ciso.
Oh, you're in Ciso.
Because I do have in Ciso. Because he's still only 19.
And a bit of
I was weighing up putting him in a knot.
Yeah.
Hasn't sort of... He's a starter at Brighton now because he's had injuries though. And I just more so look at Ciso and think he's a player who can be like, the centerpiece of a Premier League team in years to come. Yeah. Like, he's sort of been in that time, he was sort of being outshadowed by Matoma and Solly March, and Evan Ferguson was there. I could have put Ferguson in, but he's sort of last year now. And they have so many young players. I think you have one.
Yeah, well, I've got Bonanotte.
Yeah, I could have taken a pick of Bonanotte or Enciso, a Dingra.
Yeah, Dringer's there as well.
They've got so much young talent, which Brighton have done every year. They needed some respect in this sort of category.
You have to include one of them, right?
Yeah. And we took our pick. We went different ones to highlight how much they have.
Exactly, yeah.
I think Enciso could be that sort of attacking mid staple piece. He's already had some beautiful moments, like scoring bangers against, I think it was against Chelsea.
Yeah.
I think you've gone probably Bonanotte for similar reasoning.
Same thing. And again, it'd be interesting who they sell, because they're going to sell one of them, I'm assuming, because they're both number 10s. Yeah. They're both that sort of South American sort of background. Yeah. Who do they pick? Enciso could be, you said it right, like he could be the man for Brighton though. If, like you said,
probably selling both in 5 years.
What did we say a few weeks ago? We're like, they might start now buying players around some of their stars. So if they do go that route,
if they want to kick on.
Enciso would be the perfect player to build around. That's like a number 10, has played since he's been 18 in the Prem. But Bonanotte is a little bit different, doesn't play as much. It's now starting to, as you said.
He's more on the line of the other players we said.
Because of like Gross having to play all over and not midfield, he had to play a bit more.
How old is Bonanotte?
He's a little bit older, I think, than Enciso. But
is he a bit older?
I think he is.
Well, I guess Enciso is 19, man.
He's not as young, I think, as I thought.
Bonanotte is... Oh no, he's younger, 19 as well. I think Enciso is nearly 20.
Okay, I thought it was about around. Anyway,
couple 100 days.
The fact they both found both these guys, but I think Bonanotte as well, in terms of goals, he might turn into a winger eventually. I think, because he's got more of that goal scoring touch presence. Enciso's got more of the vision, the IQ. But this guy, like, again, a bit of like what De Zerbi's obviously taught these guys, because I feel like they just have eyes in the back of their head. They just know where the pass is. They know where to play the ball. They take the game on as well. Like, his pass completion might not be great this season, but he's always taking the game on, and I can respect that. That's why I like Cole Palmer as well. Might never like finish the pass, but to play the pass and see the pass.
If you're this young and you're already seeing these passes,
that for me is the biggest tick. Like, especially 3 or 4
years from now, you'll be nailing them.
Exactly, and that's what the next gen's gonna have to do. That find these passes. We look at what KDB's set the standard now in the Premier League. We need midfielders to create. We need midfielders to find goals, and then both these guys have that. So that's why they're both on our list respectively.
My last, I got Milo Gusto.
Yeah, I like it.
So, I'm not going to lie, I hadn't heard of him until this year.
No, sir.
And despite him having played quite a few games this year, I don't think he's as young as these other guys. It's more so, just out of curiosity, I want to see how young he is, because I'm hoping he's not old. That'd be kind of awkward. Yeah, he's 20. He's 20.
Jeez,
so,
I'm so wrong with these ages.
So, nearly 21. But so, the Reece James absence has allowed, Massive. Gusto to come in and flourish as a right back. He's been great. Obviously had the red card, which is like a minor setback, unfortunately. Yeah. I think it was a pretty undeserving red card from what I can remember.
With the other things around him, probably not, equal to it.
Yeah. So, he's been one of the, another shining light in Chelsea's sort of young player, out of Chelsea's young players. And he'll be a Premier League right back for years to come.
Could be their right back if they get sick of injuries.
Yeah, I mean, how much more time do you give Reece James? Like,
after this whole big surgery, where's he? He's going to like some foreign country to do it. If he doesn't come back and he does it again...
It's not time as in like, sell him, but it's in like...
Who comes to number one? Who's the captain?
There comes a point where, if you're Poch and you have a very capable young right back in Gusto...
Chuck him on.
Like, what is the upside to taking him out every... I understand James is a better player. But after 3 or 4 games, he's going to get subbed in 30 minutes anyway because he's going to get injured. Like,
you always say the availability is their best.
Yeah, literally. I mean, it's so true. Like, if Reece James, you try and... I know Chelsea fans would be so against shipping him off. And I understand that, right? Like, he's the best right back when he's fit. But this is a real thing now. He just cannot stay fit. Like... I wonder how many games he's played in the last 3 years. It'd be less than half. It would have to be less than half. Like, and as the captain of your club, supposedly the best player in your position, and a staple piece in your team, like, you need to be there week in, week out. And I'm not saying it's not his fault.
Yeah,
it's just the way it is. And unfortunately, some players' careers are really sort of tarnished through injury, and I'm hoping Reece James isn't.
Yeah, we hope not. Yeah.
He's not getting any younger, man, and his injury record is not getting any better. Like,
the fact this surgery, if it doesn't go right, I think you're screwed, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you come back something
but
like that.
fortunately for Gusto, right, which is the point of this,
Yeah.
he's been given this opportunity to shine, and he's been very good.
Yeah, flourish, absolutely. I've got 2 more left. I'll go with the Chelsea guys. I'll go in with Carney Chukwuemeka. Unfortunately, went down that injury against West Ham all that time ago, but he looked probably like the best midfielder for Chelsea at that point in time. There was no Nkunku, there was no Cole Palmer then. It was him in there with Gallagher and Enzo, and he was looking at the best.
Wasn't looking great for Chelsea.
It was a foreign midfield, man, but he was looking the best of the lot. Weird it's a sort of a skinnier, lankier sort of build. But I think he's got a little upside in terms of like number 8 in that creative mold that we're seeing with McAllister and the like now. I think he could be someone of the future. And then my 5th one is someone that's had a good week, Connor Bradley for Liverpool. He's had a big week. And with Trent's antics and God knows where you're going to play in the future, this guy looks like he's going to. That is a rogue call from you. I watched that Liverpool Arsenal FA Cup game. That last 20 minutes, he came on. Again, that's a nervy moment against an Arsenal team stacked up. He had to put it right back. It's a bit like, don't want to make a mistake here, but he's gone and succeeded. And I remember in pre-season we were joking about who's this Bradley guy that Liverpool were starting at right back. Yeah. And it's like, obviously Jurgen Klopp has some faith in him, so he's been playing for a while. So
the pre-season merchants say that.
Yeah, we're going to show we had no idea what was going on in the pre-season, but no, he's really shone. So yeah, I think the future's looking decent for him, whether it be Liverpool or probably more likely a Premier League, other clubs.
So. I need to get him back on FIFA and see who the future stars are. Right?
Yeah, I
want to see who EA is doing.
What's EA cooking up? But yeah, that's our 5 up and comers or next stars. Go with that next stars group. Final 2 games now. Everton 0, Aston Villa 0. I guess the only thing we need to talk about is as Aston Villa's sort of like crunch or like sharpness in the final third wearing off a little bit. Because Diaby had a...
So I say sign Tammy Abraham, man. Bring in Tammy.
Bit of backup.
Bring in a bit of opposition to... competition.
Diaby had a bit of a stinker last night. Not great performance. Yeah. Leon Bailey's been good. But again, like, Everton should be scoring, man.
But then again, like, you could also look at it like, Everton haven't actually been that bad this year.
Yeah, no, they haven't.
Like, it's I don't know. I think it's one of those. Like, I didn't watch this game.
No, yeah.
But from what I've seen, the highlights and whatever, I think it's one of those. Like, you sort of just take a point.
Take a move.
Emmy was good.
Emmy has that massive, not really double. He made the big save, then it went back out and it came back in. He made another save again. So, deservedly man of the match. Screwed your FPL over. But yeah.
Yeah. Fuck me, man.
That's true. They could have lost. That's true. But I think feel like what they drew to Sheffield, drew to Everton. So if you look at it and just objectively, the table, you've drawn now to the 2 bottom 4 teams. Yeah. They could now be
you're kicking yourself a little bit for sure.
At top of the table. So that's where I come from. Where again, I was taking Villa very, very seriously after that little run with Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, did they scrape that win against Burnley? I can't remember what happened. Yeah, Douglas was 89th pen.
It was a pen.
Yeah.
So see, they've had a few, rocky results.
It's not been as like, proficient as it was a couple months ago. But
can we talk about them attacking? We're like they're attacking.
United.
They flood numbers forward. They're attacking fullbacks and stuff. Yeah. But we haven't seen goals from midfield. We haven't seen goals from the striker or the wingers. So
they'd be kicking themselves against you as well.
That's what I'm saying. They could be like 6 points clear on top.
Yeah, I know.
It could be a whole different.
Tell you what, is this the Unai effect where Unai went 20 games unbeaten with us
and then just I'm just worried for Villa because again we want him up there. I want as many teams competing because the league could be dead in the next 2 months.
The league it's the best the league's been in a long time. Put it like that.
I think that's be kicking themselves. And then for Everton, I think a good result. Yeah. After 3
needed result.
3 loss in the trot, 3-0 loss to Wolves last time out. You're like, oh, is it a bit shaky? But they fixed it up. Dan Juma started a bit of a funny one. Dan Juma back inside. McNeil on the bench. So Dyche just cooking something up there. But yeah, they should be fine. I hope Luton can compete with them, but I think they should be all good. And then obviously the game we watched last night, 2-2 United Spurs entertainment fest. I tell you what though, there was no midfield in either side in this game. It was like we're just going to play through the forwards over the top. I think Spurs be kicking themselves a little bit though. They probably were the better of the two. So I think Ant came over and said that they were one of the luckier of the 2 sides. I think Werner ended up having 5 shots.
Oh, the old Timo way. Timo's back.
Target.
Timo's back like he never left.
And obviously he played well. I think other than for the shooting, he was great. Like he was putting Delo on his bum. Put the assist. Really aggressive. They were looking for him actively. They were going to him. Just a Just a shame he couldn't hit the target because they could have. And even Romero hit the crossbar from almost the most unmissable header, unmarked outside the box. So Tottenham will be kicking themselves.
They'll be kicking themselves, but then you look at United, they're probably thinking the same thing.
McTominay missing a gettable chance header.
You always, in the whole game outlook, and your Spurs deserve the win, right?
Yeah.
But then you look at it like from Ten Hag's point of view. Like, I mean, once again, we haven't played great.
Yeah.
But then, Scott, the big 6'4" man, Scott.
You bring him on over Casemiro as well.
Exactly.
I said that Casemiro header. And
top scorer of the season. You're thinking 6-yard box that goes in every day of the week unmarked. You'd be kicking yourself for sure, and you can tell from Ten Hag's reaction that he was a bit frustrated.
I think you had to win that game. That's why the fans' backlash have been pretty big because they're like, the players want to be there, but because it was like you had to win that game.
I also just felt like not a lot of identity again from you guys.
It was counter-attack FC. It looked a lot like Ole.
Counter-attack FC against Spurs, who are not exactly the hardest team to play through.
That's a thing. But maybe that came into why it was counter-attack FC because we got through them very easily. Like Bruno was one of the better players. He was attempting a lot of passes, but I don't think we got many touches in midfield.
Yeah,
it was literally Bruno from that deep 8-6 role he's been playing, pinging it to Rashford, pinging it to Garnacho, and then inshallah and just hope across hits the ball. And obviously Hoyland has a good finish.
Yeah.
But Rashford a really poor performance again. As much as he scored a goal, way too many touches, doing too much with it.
Yeah.
Manu trying to play out from the back a little bit too much considering where Tottenham was pressing us. Eriksen just looks old to us. And then centre backs are good actually. Evans probably played one of the better games he's played.
Lisha came on, yeah?
He came on, yeah. Big reception for the butcher. Fresh trim as well, just undercut us.
Did you concede when he was on the pitch? No, it was nil-nil. It was nil-nil when he came on.
He scored in the first 50 seconds.
Yeah, that's right.
He had it at our end in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
40 seconds later, at the other end. That's what I'm saying.
I know.
There's so many problems. No midfield. Defence looked good, but then also had the worst moment.
He just never came out from half-time, eh?
Second half, actually, Tottenham bossed it. Absolutely dominated it. So Spurs will be probably disappointed they didn't get the 3 points. We're disappointed we don't, because now I think we're sort of ostracising ourselves in the top four. We're just saying sayonara to that. We're going to be competing for Europa League, which is quite sad when you're competing with West Ham for Europa League. It is quite deep. It is quite deep like that.
Manchester's blue, mate.
Absolutely is. Not much to say about that game. It was just two teams that counter-attacked each other quite well, and Tottenham should have won. To finish off, again, we're really pulling at strings here. We're going to combine Wolves.
No, I actually like this.
We're not doing big clubs. We're doing smaller clubs as well.
I think we're probably going to have pretty similar teams.
Yes,
but this will probably highlight. There's quite a few stars.
Absolutely.
This team is a good team. Well, my team's
I
good.
think this could compete for Europa League.
So I'm assuming we've got same goalkeeper. Jose Sarr. Yeah, Jason Steele's alright, but even Jason Steele and what's his name?
I don't know how old Jason Steele is.
How old is he? 26?
I think he's late 20s.
That's low-key young for a keeper.
For a keeper, but I thought he was on the stage or thing. 31?
He's 33.
I thought it was 31. You know what I mean?
I thought Jason Steele was actually young. I thought he was 26.
No, he's not like that. He's brother has been.
He gets dropped every second week. It's not like he's some young up-and-coming keeper.
Brother has been around for time now.
Wow.
Yeah. I was looking at this. When was I looking at this?
Because Verbruggen, he's been getting games as well. And I was like, how old's he? Obviously, he's only 21.
Yeah, so Verbruggen's the younger of the two.
What? They got rid of Jason. They got rid of Robert Sanchez.
Who's 27?
I thought Jason Steele was a young ball playing keeper.
Next to the.
Oh my God, Brighton is such a strange club.
It's a weird thing, man.
They just get in vets.
They just cook on
different level. What is going on? What is going on?
Free agent Dahoud, free agent Milner. They just signed this.
They've got Lallana. They've got Danny Welbeck.
They just signed this young Argentinian as well. He's gonna be a superstar.
Their best player is bloody 32-year-old Pascal Gross.
Yeah, Solly March. How's Solly March now?
He's only 28. No, he's low key in it.
Solly March he's been cooking for time though. Since they've been in the league, I feel like he's just been that guy.
Watch me be wrong about Solly as well. Watch him be 35.
Solly March, veteran baller.
Please, Solly, don't be old. Where is he? Please. He's 29.
Oh yeah, Jay. So there could be a bit of end of an era for Brighton a few years on.
I know, they just ship off everyone, man.
Yeah, no,
it's insane.
Anyway, this is our combined Wolves and Brighton 11. Probably out of all the games, we're the closest to come next week out of another 5 games. Going to really struggle next week as well to talk about much stuff. But
our title challenge rebirth.
Yeah, and it's Crystal Palace to start at the start again.
Palace. So yeah, Jose starting goal.
Jose starting goal. We're going to Jose starting goal. Left back. Purvis.
Estu.
Purvis.
Estu.
Now, centre backs. I've gone Duncan Dawson.
I've gone Dunk as well. I've gone Duncan Kilman.
It's probably a bit of a more modern
I think Kilman's better in a 3.
Yeah. I know Dawson might be better in the 3 because he's slow as all hell.
No, but I think Kilman's like best in the 3.
Yeah.
But
Kilman's more of a modern day centre back.
Yeah.
Dawson's. I've got the most Brexit pairing. Like Duncan Dawson's
that is
just
very
like
Brexit.
Header.
To be fair to Dunk is actually decent on the ball, bro.
He's all right. He's all right.
Like I think Dunk's on the ball and attacking threat is low-key underrated.
Have you seen some of his free kicks?
Yeah, they're mental.
Ridiculous free kicks.
Yeah, that's right.
Belts him like crossbar and stuff. Yeah, nuts. But I think Dawson's just. I had to put him in underrated. Like doesn't get talked about. He's old. Like West Ham apparently was washed, gone to Wolves, killing it. So. Yeah, I think I had to chuck him in there.
I went Kilman instead.
Right back,
I went Semedo.
We both went Semedo. Again, he's a bit of a fullback, but
I know
this team we're just going to outscore.
There's not like it's Hinshelwood.
We're not playing Hinshelwood. We're not playing
Hinshelwood. No. We're not playing Hinshelwood.
We're not playing a 19-year-old.
We're not playing you, brother.
Yeah. And we're not playing like Gross out of position or something like rubbish like that.
Yeah. Where I put Gross in my current team of the season, that was where I put him right back. But no, Semedo's
in good form. But again, obviously he's a bit of a wing back.
Attacking.
But we're just an outscore team.
Yeah, we did say this is not the most defensive team.
But we're going to score 6.
We're outscoring.
We're going to Jurgen Klopp. We're going to outscore you.
6. Centre mids.
So you go through your 2, and I'll go through my 2 midfielders, I guess.
Gross and Billy Gilmore.
Yes, you went to Brighton, and I went João Gomez and Pascal Gross.
I'm not massive on Billy Gilmore. So we're both gone Gross. Okay,
Gross is a lock.
Has been the best player from both the teams.
We like him, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we do like Gross.
Yeah, we stand Gross around here, yeah.
Seriously underrated baller. He's been balling now for a couple of years. Like...
Stalwart of Brighton.
He's been balling for a long time. But absolutely stalwart in Brighton. Creates nothing out of something.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Something out of nothing. Something out of nothing.
Yeah, creates nothing out of something. He's just dead baller.
Just deads the attack, yeah.
Creates something out of nothing. But then Billy Gilmore, I don't know.
Very good last season, I think.
He has. Well. I don't think he's like set the world on fire this season. But I don't think any midfielders really. I was saying to you, if Ruben Neves was here, it would have been like perfect next to Pascal.
Little double pivot in there, like everything perfect. But I had to go with João Gomez, who again is not much of a hold. He would have to be the holder in this team for me. But I liked him. He's been alright with the few Wolves games I've watched. Again, I'm really sort of pulling on.
Yeah, I think both of ours will pick the ball up from deep. Billy will pick it up a bit deep, but Pascal will kind of.
We'll allow Pascal to create a little bit more in a sort of 8 role, and then we both went Cunha at 10, right?
Yeah, I went Cunha at 10. I was borderline thinking that like he's played a bit more like centre forward striker,
false nine sort of thing. Yeah,
but in this team he's going to be a solid 10.
You have to, stuck in.
A lot of free roam ability for him.
Yeah, you pick the ball up where you want to pick the ball up. Yeah, he's been he's been underrated as well. Probably the second best out of the 2 sides. Yeah. Big goals, big plays for them. And then the front 3, you go through your front 3.
So on availability, so we have so no Matoma.
Yeah, Matoma because of
because
international stuff.
Yeah. I've gone on the right. Pedro Neto, who's just come back.
Yeah.
Huang on the left, and then which is kind of a bit. He's kind of played everywhere this year.
Say that with Neto as well. He could play either side as well, so it's fluid.
Then I've gone Evan Ferguson.
Big Ev.
So, in this team, I'm going to be creating a lot.
Yeah.
Creating
crosses the box.
He's just an elite finisher.
Yeah. And that's where...
Same thing except...
Well, I initially had Huang on the right, but again, left Huang, right Neto. Either way works for me. They work very well together. And then João Pedro. He's probably the better form of the 2. He's keeping Ferguson out. Same as Welbeck, actually. Shout out to Danny Welbeck. He'd be a pretty good...
To be honest, we're probably not giving Welbeck his credit.
Yeah,
he probably is like the best fit for this team.
Yeah, he's probably the best striker at Brighton right now.
Huang, Cunha and Neto.
Just a hold-up striker, and probably is better. But João Pedro can drop in. That's why I like him. Yeah. Drops in, picks the ball up.
He's definitely an all-round better player than better. Like,
Ferguson's a better striker.
Offers more to the team.
João Pedro's a more versatile player for me.
I agree.
And we're sort of living in that generation where these players are massive. Like, obviously, Solanke and Watkins scoring goals, but they've got that same sort of build where they can drop in, lay it off, get in behind, all these sort of things. So that's why I've got him. I think, he's had a very good season, João Pedro, considering I think expectations were high on him because of what happened at Watford. Wasn't doing well at Watford last year. I remember when I watched Watford played last season. Not.
I think the thing about that was that they agreed the transfer.
Something
like January or something.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
A while before, and he wasn't lighting the world up on fire after that.
But he's refound that sort of initial format at Watford.
Yeah, he's come good recently.
Lighting it up, which is good for them.
With the lack of other attacking output. So
yeah, they're needing him 100%. Yeah. So very similar, I guess.
Where's this team finish? Well, Brighton are currently 7th and Wolves are like 12th.
11th, 12th, yeah. I'm thinking 6th.
Yeah, I think it's got to be around there. Right? Who's manager? Oh, it's got to be Roberto. But Gary
has a shout.
Gary has a 2 would be decent, mate.
I'll tell you what though, Gary, we need defense, so we might need Gary just to give a bit of identity to the side, like a bit of like.
But but you could also look at we have so much attacking output there.
Got to foster that talent.
We need De Zerbi there to just like run amok,
just to yell shit around and just to throw his hands.
We're gonna be having Semedo and Estu,
literally as wingers
on the byline, and then we've got Pedro. Oh yeah, we'll swap Pedro to go on the left. So he can cut back in.
Yeah, and then Juan can play as like a false.
Juan can just sort of cut in somewhere. He's actually not bad on his left. And then Big Abs.
We're gonna have to do with Duncan and Dawson just isolated as 2, just sitting there with like, don't counter-attack us, don't counter-attack us. Yeah, good team though.
Nah, decent team. I like that. I like that concept, you know.
We're shipping goals, but...
Yeah, shipping goals, but we're
scoring a lot as well, yeah. We're prime Jurgen Klopp material. And then we'll finish with winners and losers.
Oh, did I forget winners and losers?
I'll get us going then while you're thinking yours. Yeah. My winner was Oscar Bob. Again, bit boring, but I love the Oscar Bob action. I was talking to him and a few mates at work yesterday. Obviously, he's been around, but no one talks about him, obviously. Yeah. And I watch a bit of the Pitch Eye Boys, and Tom Garrett loves a bit of Oscar Bob. And watched some of the videos. We've been doing the videos with them. He seems like a solid bloke as well.
Whenever I just think of Sideshow Bob.
Sideshow Bob. Yeah, but just the hair as well.
I think that's like a meme, man. Yeah. But like as in, literally every time, Oscar Bob.
Sideshow Bob.
He looks like Sideshow Bob.
There's a baller
last name Bob. Like it's just
sick last name, baller. One for the future, definitely.
I guess contrary to that, I'll do like, or sort of, pairing with that. I'll go KDB.
Yeah, have to. Yeah.
And City. Yeah. Like it's hard to deny. KDB won the weekend, won the headlines.
He won
first game back in 4 months, and does what KDB does.
Yeah,
just like re-cements himself as like
the best.
It almost just like it does so much for his legacy. This game,
yeah.
Like being out for a while. He'd obviously been so good in the treble team, but it was like he just comes back and just picks up where he left off. And
could he do it? Yeah, he can. Yeah. It's pretty simple like that.
Straight back, absolutely mental.
It's like he never 5
literally
months.
Won the game off his own boot.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They were thereabouts. He comes on, bang, you win the game. It's 5 months as well. Like that's underrated how long you can be out for. And he's
as a 32-year-old, 33-year-old.
And a guy that obviously doesn't use his pace.
He's been doing so many side quests as well.
Yeah, but he's UFC, boxing, like
he's
in
side quest from KDB, mate.
Change his trim as well.
Doesn't train anymore. Just like
just rocks up.
Just does stuff.
Just a baller. And my loser, so hype. I'm going to Timo, man. He's just living up to reputation again.
I tell you what,
missing some chances. Harsh. I love the guy
amongst the week. That feels harsh.
Yeah,
but
this weekend,
a light-hearted loser.
Yeah, I say this weekend it's not really. We haven't really had a serious weekend. It's been one of those, as you said, light-hearted weekends. So Timo for me, just living up to the Timo name. Yeah, let's go with that.
As much as Eddie Howe lost on the weekend, it's still Man City. So I'm going to go Vincent Kompany and Burnley.
I was close to putting Vincent in.
Like, I felt like we saw a more animated Vincent than we normally see. The whole, I love Luton. What a club, Luton. But then proceeds to go on about,
about everything.
But this is my club, and then I felt a bit bad for it because I like Vincent, man. I want to see Vincent in the Prem.
We like Vincent,
I want to see him succeed. But that just felt like a massive 3 points. Now, massive 2 points dropped.
Pretty sure this was the end of our block we highlighted.
Yeah,
this is the final game of it.
It was like, I mean, who do they have next? It's
just worrying, man. Because we want to see Vincent. We want to see this sort of attacking style of football, but you need the money, man.
Sorry, Burnley have.
It'll be a while. It'll be like 2 weeks
City
away. Oh no. You know what? It was right, was it? Because we said if they lose this and then get battered, it was like it's done.
Yeah. I think this was it. City away, and then look. I mean, it goes kind of up and down from there, but it's like
it's dangerous.
This is such a City game where they're rolling into it.
Yeah, 7-0.
And literally, there hasn't. I don't think there's been one yet this year.
Yeah, haven't had one of those. I keep
Erling's back. Oh my God, I'm saying it already. Erling's back, scores 5.
KDB starts again.
Vincent comes home. Gets
and
a
just gets
rounding
battered
applause in his sacking. Oh no, poor Vincent. Yeah, that's my loser, unfortunately.
He looks the part. Where's the cap as well? Like he's just
I
got
know, I love the cap.
Yeah, and just
They made a cap for his head.
him.
I know.
Oh, it's sad. He's got a big head as well. So
It's
massive.
it's like Megamind, mate.
Yeah, it goes like
goes like that.
Goes like that.
It's actually mental.
Fair play to Burnley staff for making the cap. That brings this week to an end. We've waffled for an hour and a bit, so we done well this week.
Lots of clips.
In absence of our good friend over there in the
absence
corner.
of the waffle merchant, Totino.
Yeah, we've got our Tottenham fan over here, and
massive
West Ham
United fan, Spurs fan.
Yeah,
I might have to buy a Spurs kit.
Yeah, I'll need to wear that next week. Check that one on this.
That'd be hilarious.
Thanks guys for tuning in. Make sure like, comment, subscribe, and we should be back for the midweek show, me and Nathan, this week as well. So keep an eye out for that one. Till then, guys. See you later.